Kevin Owens needs to learn how to
He
breathe
outkicked
through
his
his nose.
coverage. Your culture, you got those narrow noses.
See, now, if I say a big nose joke, I get canceled.
You can't give it back.
No, that's
I'll
bullshit.
give it back.
No, you'll get canceled too. You'll get me
Oh.
canceled by proxy. You didn't stand up, huh? You didn't stop him. Sami invaded Raw. Have I missed anything so far?
Nope.
Okay, so Sami invaded Raw, and he wants to talk to Cody. Cody comes out, and he does his little entrance, and kissing babies, and high-fiving everybody, and he
I
wants to...
noticed there was no pyro though.
There was pyro.
There was pyro?
Yeah. Sami wants to know if Cody actually thinks he can beat Roman Reigns like he said last week. Cody says he did mean it. For some reason, there's a "this is awesome" chant. Cody says the obvious, which that is it doesn't matter what he thinks, it's what Sami thinks. Sami says he doesn't know. He says he could be a main eventer, he could be champion, but as far as beating Roman Reigns, he just doesn't know. Says got the God mode thing. That's not just talk. He is wrestling at another level and really put over Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he said the bloodline always finds a way.
Yeah.
Remember that line. The bloodline always finds a way.
Okay.
Because remember what I said. I wasn't gonna. Roman Reigns. I guess I'll say it again for the people who didn't know. I said it, and now more and more people are getting on board. Roman Reigns is walking out of WrestleMania as champion, and Sami Zayn told you right there. The bloodline always finds a way.
Okay. So then after that, Cody fluffs his balls. Like, oh, the people think you can do it, and you can do it, blah, 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 blah. Cody says this great line where he says he intends to finish his story, and then you need to finish yours. Then he ruins it by encouraging the crowd to cheer. I thought that kind of killed it. And then Cody says he doesn't want to see him at Raw. He wants to see him at WrestleMania. And then Sami puts his hoodie back on and flees back into the crowd.
See, I didn't quite get the whole hoodie thing he's been doing for weeks. Why is he sneaking out?
Yeah, I don't know. He looked out of place. He didn't look like he belonged in the same ring. Cody came out with a suit, and he looked like he washed his balls within the last, 24 hours. Sami comes out, he looks like he's fucking sleeping in his car. Still got his dried cum on his hands. He looks more and more like Mick Foley to me.
I didn't get the long hair thing. Now, he said in an interview he grew his beard out because he wanted to look less likable. That's why he had the beard and the hair.
He just looks pathetic.
Well, now you're a babyface. You can cut the hair. I did call it right, though, about the music coming back. I did get that right.
Yeah. Speaking of music, Sami invades Raw, right? It's a surprise. They interrupt an interview to cut to Sami because to see what he's gonna do, right?
Right.
So then Cody comes out, and I wish he would have just came out and genuinely been surprised that he was called out as opposed to doing his full-blown entrance. That means he either had his music queued up or went to somebody to cue his music up.
Well, you gotta get the full Cody experience.
Think about it though, all that coordination for an entrance. And this is supposed to be spontaneous. I just wish I just wish he came out without any music and he looked genuinely surprised as opposed to coming out, encouraging the woes and slapping hands.
It's the little things, yeah.
I think I think Sami looked like a total pussy. He invades another show, talks to his potential WrestleMania opponent, goes all the way over there just to ask him what he thinks. Can you think I beat Roman Reigns? And the whole time he's saying that how great Roman is, he looks like he's on the verge of tears. It's pathetic. And he needs Cody to fucking tell him how great he is. It's just, I didn't like it at all. And then he puts his little stupid hoodie on and runs back into the crowd. How? I don't understand. I just don't understand why this guy's liked so much.
Why is he liked so much?
Yeah.
Because people, and it's starting to become more and more apparent that people have missed storytelling. And unfortunately for Sami Zayn, unfortunately for WWE, they had this idea to put Sami Zayn in the biggest faction going in WWE, and then he took it to another level and got way over.
Okay.
They didn't think that story was going to get so hot, I guess. Actually, the origin of it was he was supposed to be in the bloodline for a couple weeks, and then they were going to kick him out. It got so hot, and the whole Usi and all that stuff, it got so hot, they were were like, okay, now we can't cut him out of the bloodline. So then they had to keep it going, and then we got the turn. So that's why he got over. He got over because he got over. No, if Vince McMahon was still around, that wouldn't have happened. He would have, oh, they're starting to cheer him, get him out.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
But I think we're focusing on the wrong part of the story, though.
What's that?
Because the story isn't between Sami and Roman Reigns. The story is between Sami and Jey Uso.
Yeah.
All throughout Sami's time with the Bloodline, he's been trying to get Jey Uso's approval. Jey Uso's been the one that hasn't trusted him. Jey Uso's been the one that's called him out. Jey Uso's been the first one to, like, remember when Roman wanted him to take the shirt off, and Jey Uso was all about that shit. Jey Uso was the last one to
within seconds.
Right. Jey Uso was the last one to accept Sami. Jey Uso finally said, I love you, Sami. And then he's conflicted about between Roman and the Bloodline. Now, EC kind of muddied that a little bit. I don't know why, but we'll get to that. But that's the story. Roman's just a supporting character in Sami's story.
But unfortunately, Roman's the champion, which makes him the focal point.
It makes him the focal point as far as I guess breaking up the bloodline, which is what Sami wanted to do, but the story is between Jey and Sami. It's not between Sami and Roman.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you really want to talk about it, the story, then you could say the story's between Jey and Roman, going back to like the whole start of the bloodline formation.
It can
started
be.
with
I mean,
Roman.
that would Sami and Jey need to resolve their story first. They need to finish that. But if it evolves back,
I said, I guess we're getting there.
We'll see. So Sami and Jey can finish their story, and that can evolve into Jey and Roman again. I mean, they can retread that. But this whole thing started because Roman can't fucking pick a tag team partner, and he got bored with the mascot. If Roman would have picked Sikoa Joe or one of the Usos to go against John Cena and Kevin Owens, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about Roman Reigns versus Sami.
You know, it wasn't about that. Like, that was just a piece of the story.
No, that's what started it. Because before that, Roman was cheering and they were slapping hands. Sami just won War Games for him.
Right, but even Roman said, I'm not mad because first of all, I didn't lose. He lost.
Right.
And second, like, I'm upset because you called your shot and you made me look like a liar.
But he picked the mascot as a tag team partner against John Cena and Kevin Owens. He should have picked Sikoa Joe or one of the Usos. That's Roman's fault. To have a rivalry over that, I don't know. That's just not as compelling as what he's been through with Jey.
Well, I mean, I think it's more than that. Like, it goes back to Sami Zayn. He was trying to get accepted into the bloodline.
Okay.
You can tell all the time Roman Reigns was playing him, and then he got accepted into the bloodline.
But Jey Uso flat out didn't accept him.
Right, that's why the story is between them. And I'm going to say it again, I still don't think that the blow-off should be a tag team title run for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If anything, okay, let's do the match. Doesn't need to be for the titles. Like, no titles on the line. Let's just hash this personal thing out at WrestleMania. But it doesn't need to be for the titles. They're not tag team. They're not a tag team. Not even, you can argue that they're not even friends yet. And they're going to go and beat the greatest tag team in the 21st century.
I don't know, either that or a singles match with Jey.
Well, you can't do it it's going to be a tag team match.
Well, of course.
But I would argue that it doesn't need to be for the titles because the storyline is bigger. It's bigger than the tag team titles. So let's just cut that. Cut and dried. It is bigger than the tag team titles. We didn't waste 3 years of story for a tag team title.
So why does the Roman one have to involve the titles, but the Jey one, the more personal one, not?
Because Roman is the champion.
So is Jey.
The tag team titles are not on the same level.
Not with that kind of attitude, they're not. You don't think putting a title on one of your hottest stars kind of elevates it?
No. Because what are you going to do after that? You going to go wrestle the Banger Bros? What story is going to be there? What are you going to go wrestle Hit Row?
That's what he would do if he won the fucking the Universal, whatever, the belts.
No.
Yeah, that's who he would wrestle. He'd be champion. Everybody would celebrate, and then he would go through the gauntlet of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus and the same fucking people. So don't sit there and tell me they have like this deep bench of people that they can cycle through. If they're a tag team champion, they can at least build the belts back up.
He doesn't have a deep Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. You said those two, but I got more for you.
Okay.
Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, because he needs a title shot. Throw him in there. Don't pay attention to it, because how many times have we seen it? Vikings Raiders lost. They're supposed to be being built up, and they're over here losing to Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Which is more of a team than Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, by the way. And they're not even a team.
Okay, first of all, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they've known each other for years. They've teamed all throughout their career, and they've been playing that in WWE in storyline. So to say that they're not a tag team, that they could tag team today, and that it would be like riding a bicycle for them.
And
So
that's
stop
gonna
it.
make them the best. That's gonna make them the best tag team.
They could be.
You're beating the longest reigning tag team champions.
They've known each other for, well, I don't know if quite as long as Jay and Jimmy, but they could tag today and they'd be fine. So yes. In fact, if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn formed a tag team right now, they would be automatically be #1 contenders.
Okay. I guess I'm in the minority here.
Not everybody can be world champion, and Sami Zayn is not a world champion. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how over he is with the crowd. Damian Sandow was over with the crowd too. Do you see him being world champion?
Did I see him being world champion? Yes, at one point at his peak.
Oh, you're fucking crazy.
We're not saying that you gotta be like everybody's. Just because you're champion doesn't mean like, oh, now you're gonna be like the next Hogan.
No, but you gotta be.
You just
no, bullshit. No,
champion.
bullshit. You're the top guy in the top company with the top prize. You need to fucking be one of those people. Santino Marella, Damian Sandow, Sami Zayn. Those are not top people.
Was Mankind a top person? Mankind, not McFoley. Mankind.
Yes.
You telling me Mankind was more of a top guy than a Cactus Jack was?
Fuck yeah, absolutely. Mankind with the
maybe at his peak.
When he first debuted, he was in the boiler room, and he was one of the first guys that really gave Undertaker a hard time with the mandible claw. He kind of had a little alliance with Goldust. That's when Goldust would. I saw him being a champion. He was great.
Okay.
So yeah, Mankind, absolutely. And he was. But then they did the whole hardcore thing, and then he became the Socko, and then, yeah. That, if we're talking about that Mankind, no.
Well, that is when he won the title, so...
I know.
There's that.
Well,
So-
he won the
so you
title.
just-
He won the title before that, but then he did the Socko thing with The Rock.
Well, he wasn't the boiler room Mankind when he won the title.
No, but he wasn't the Socko Mankind either.
He was in between.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have the sock out yet, but it was
Okay.
getting there.
I'm sorry, Sami Zayn's not world champion material, and he showed it. He absolutely
He did
fucking
show
showed it on Raw. Think about it. You got this girl, right? You really want to get with her, and then you go to her ex-boyfriend and say, "You really think I could fuck her one day? Think I have a chance?"
Why would you go to the X?
Why would you go to Cody Rhodes to see if you could beat Roman Reigns?
I don't know. He was looking for approval.
Oh, there you go.
Really, what they were trying to do was tell you, please cheer Cody Rhodes.
They were already cheering Cody
And
Rhodes.
I'm just saying, please don't turn on Cody Rhodes. That's really what that segment was about.
No, they're trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do. It just Sami Zayn looked like the little brother. He wasn't even making eye contact. Yeah, he just looked pathetic. But anyway, just because the crowd likes him and he's over, that does not necessarily mean that he needs to be a world champion.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're selling merch, you got the highest rated segments. Who cares about all that stuff?
You don't need to be world champion. No.
But then we move on to our main event segment, Sami Zayn's return to Montreal. There weren't many words said in this segment, but it was quite powerful. So Sami Zayn, he ruined my thing about him having his theme out at Backlash. Whoa, him coming to Elimination Chamber with his theme, it was ruined because he did it on SmackDown. So,
I hate that song.
But I did say that was coming back. So his theme hits, he goes to the ring for about 10 minutes. The crowd is chanting. They're going through the whole gambit of chants. You deserve it. Let's go, Sammy. All the chants. Sammy's just soaking this all in. He started to tear up a little bit because it was so overwhelming. Then he pretty much says that Roman Reigns is not just going against Sami Zayn, but he's going against the whole province or whatever it is of Montreal. What is it? City? Is it a city? Do they have cities there?
I don't know.
Well, whatever Montreal is, he said Roman Reigns has to go against all of it. So, not just Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how we go off the air there.
He was crying again. So all week,
It was
Sami's been
emotional.
crying. Our hero has been crying like a bitch.
It was emotional.
Can you imagine if John McClane was crying like a bitch while he was pulling the glass out of his feet? I just can't. I can't do it.
What are you talking about? I've seen UFC fighters. They spend 20 minutes getting pounded in the face, and then, they go out, and after they win, they're crying.
That's after.
Like, they're so emotional because they
That's tears.
won, they poured their
That's
heart
tears
out.
of joy after. You don't see the UFC fighter going to the other UFC fighter. Do you think I could beat the other? Do you think I could be champion of this weight class? I need your affirmation and approval because I look up to you. Do you see UFC fighters go to their hometown? It's not just me against Daniel Cormier. It's me and Boise, Idaho against Daniel Cormier. Just saying.
You really hung up on that.
A little bit, yeah.
That Raw segment, aren't you?
Raw and SmackDown, apparently. You said he was crying in SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
There
But
you
he was
go.
legit crying.
Yeah,
But it
that's
was
what I'm
emotional.
saying. How is it emotional? It's emotional if he comes back as the conquering hero.
It's emotional because he's not supposed to be in this spot, as people like you say. Like, he's not supposed to be in the main event. He's not supposed to be getting the cheers.
No. I didn't say anything about him being in the main event. I just said he couldn't be champion. And there's nothing wrong with him getting cheers. Of course he would get cheers.
Well,
I would hope he'd get cheers.
Getting
or
those
boos
kind of
or,
cheers.
or reaction. You can get those kind of cheers.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
get-
Damien Mizdow, he got those kind of cheers. Well, maybe not quite. Not quite the Montreal cheers, but he was pretty over. I don't think you remember how over he was.
I said earlier, at his peak, I thought he could have been champion.
He couldn't have been.
Especially when he had Money in the Bank.
And
He had the Money in the Bank.
Santino Marella, he was pretty fucking over too. Everybody loved him.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
And no one's arguing with you on Santino Marella.
It's
As a matter
the
of
same.
fact, I hated when he beat Umaga.
He did beat Umaga, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Remember
I
when he
hated
was
when
in
he did the snake. I hated when he did the trumpet thing.
Yeah, I hate everything
I
about
hated
him.
everything. Thank you. There was not one good redeeming moment from him.
But I'm just saying he was super over too, though. My point is, just because people like him, just because they're entertaining, does not mean that they need to be the champion of everything. They don't need to be in the top guy spot. You gotta have some sort of believability with that.
And I'm saying sometimes a story becomes so big and takes on a life of its own that you have no choice but to pull the trigger and send the fans home happy.
But the story is not him and Roman. The story is him and Jay.
So they're going to beat Jay, and then that's going to be... That doesn't even end the Bloodline story. Let's go back there, because I just thought about that.
It can't be...
They go and beat the Usos.
If the Usos
lose...
If the Usos lose the tag team champions, the Usos could either split, or they could realize that Roman's leadership has cost them the championship, and they can split from Roman, and then they could feud with Roman individually or together. There's a whole bunch of... I mean, if you really take your time with it, there's a whole bunch of angles you could go with it.
And did you hear what Paul Heyman said when he was talking on SmackDown last week?
I did, but that was last week. I smoked weed,
it was
dude.
a long time ago. So he said, well, because him and Cody had that segment that everybody was
crying and...
Well, everybody was like, "Oh, everybody who said they wanted Sami, this segment," is what the internet was saying.
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this segment just proved why Cody Rhodes is the right decision." I guess we were watching two different things, but that's here nor there.
Ooh.
And
That was a great segment. What the fuck are you talking about?
it was a good segment. It was a great segment, yeah.
So then what are you talking about watching
TV? That didn't get me more excited for Roman versus Cody. If anything, it got me excited for Dusty versus Cody. And we know that... I'm sorry, Dusty versus Roman. And we know that can't... Yeah, and unfortunately we can't have that match, so...
No, I just like how they started off with the emotional thing, and then Paul Heyman said that you were Dusty's favorite son, but Roman was the son that your father always wanted. And then Cody's like, I'm just trying to win a championship. Everybody wants to make this personal. Well, now it's personal, and I'm not going to take it out on you. I'm going to take it out on your boy, Roman. I thought that was great. That got me really excited. It was almost like, kind of like you were saying, like he was just put in a spot and he's just going through the motions, and this is just part of the wheel that's just going to be turning anyway. But now because of Paul Heyman's interjection and pulling the heartstrings, and of course going after Dusty and playing that angle, now it's personal. Now Cody is emotionally invested. He doesn't just have to win the title, he has to beat Roman Reigns now.
I don't know about all that.
What don't you know about?
I don't know if we've made that connection yet. Like, yeah, he said that, but Cody, yeah, at the end of that segment, Cody said, you know, I'm trying to win a championship, and everybody's trying to make it personal.
Mm-hmm.
The bridge there is what Paul Heyman said on SmackDown, and he said, I didn't know Dusty raised a dummy, but Cody. But Cody Rhodes, he said that he's just trying to win a championship and everybody's trying to make it personal. But to the tribal chief, this is personal. This is his life. This is... You're trying to dethrone him. You're trying to take him away from the island of relevancy. Without these titles, there is no bloodline. There is no Paul Heyman. There's no Roman Reigns. Like, this is everything. I liked it. You didn't like it. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I thought the main event was overbooked. What it should have been was Roman Reigns just beating the piss out of Sami Zayn. For Sami Zayn to have any believable shot against Roman's laughable. Just before the second ref bump, when Sami kicks out of like the third or second spear, that's when I just like, okay, now it's just getting retarded. Because that's all it was. They were just kicking out of each other's finishers, and more people came out, and Jimmy came out to do something. Jay came out to do nothing. Paul Heyman was there. There was a part where just before he got stunned, he said, "Oh, I always wanted to be with you. I never wanted to be with Roman." And yeah, I don't know. It seems like that they were trying to build up for this. I don't know, just like a big letdown. And I don't know why Sami kissed his mom. I've never kissed my mom like that.
That's because it was his wife.
Oh.
That's the kids that were there with him.
Oh, I thought that was his brothers and sisters.
The little kids?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's his wife.
Oh.
Again, he's not getting Charlotte. What? Charlotte? He's not getting... he's not getting Scarlett or anything. You think Sammy's pulling those kind of numbers? Come on, he's got to... He's still got to be in the game, but, you know, he's not Brock Lesnar. You know, he's not pulling Sable. He could revisit that marriage thing now. Maybe he could do a little better.
Maybe.
You know, being a famous wrestler now.